afternoon, I'm Imogen Hilmer. Welcome back to Energy News. Today, we're talking tidal. Every single day without fail, something extraordinary happens along our coastlines. Billions of tons of ocean water rise and fall, not because of storm, not because of climate change, but because of the gravitational pull of the moon and sun. It has happened since before humans walked the earth, and now we are finally learning how to plug into it. Tonight, we will be investigating tidal energy, the renewable powerhouse that most people have never heard of. Reporter Grace DeQuetta is here to talk about this. Grace, set the scene for us.
Imogen, imagine standing on the shores of the Bay of Fundy in Nova Scotia. Twice a day, the ocean rises over 16 meters. That's taller than a 4-story building, and then pulls back out again. It does this every single day like clockwork. Scientists say that the bay alone could generate over 7,000 megawatts of electricity. To put that in perspective, that's enough to power millions of Canadian homes.
Whoa, and that's just one bay? For the people wondering what makes Bay of Fundy so special, it all comes down to the tidal range. The difference between how high the tide gets and how low the tide gets. The bigger that difference, the more power you can generate. And the Bay of Fundy has one of the largest tidal ranges in the entire planet. So for anyone at home wondering what tidal energy is and how it works, could you tell us, Grace?
Great question. At its core, tidal energy captures the movement of ocean water as the tides rise and fall, and then it converts that movement into electricity. Think of it like wind turbines, but underwater. Water is actually 800 times denser than air, which means even a slow-moving current carries an enormous amount of force. A tidal turbine doesn't need to spin nearly as fast as wind turbines to produce the same amount of power.
So there's actually turbines sitting on the ocean floor right now generating power?
Exactly right, Imogen. And there isn't just one way to produce tidal energy. There are actually 3 main methods. The most modern approach, called in-stream tidal energy, works almost like an underwater wind farm. Turbines are placed directly in fast-moving tidal currents anchored to the ocean floor. As the water rushes past, it spins the blades, which drives a generator, which produces electricity.
And I believe there's a method called tidal barrage, which is essentially a low dam built across a bay or river mouth. It works like a gate, open during high tide to let water in, close at the peak. Then release the water through the turbines as the tide drops. Canada actually had one of these operating for years, the Annapolis Royal Facility in Nova Scotia, which produced up to 20 megawatts.
Yes, that's exactly right. And then the last method is called tidal lagoons. Tidal lagoons are when a section of the ocean that is partially enclosed by walls to control the water flow traps and releases water in a controlled cycle. No large-scale lagoons are running yet, but plants are being planted in China and Wales.
So for the viewers at home, where in the world is this happening right now?
The United Kingdom is arguably the global leader in in-stream tidal turbine technology, while France and China have been runners-up for decades. South Korea is home to the world's largest tidal facility, the Siwon Lake Tidal Power Station, and Canada may have the highest potential of any nation on Earth, up to 40,000 megawatts nationally. Beyond the Bay of Fundy, British Columbia and Nunavut are exploring smaller tidal systems to replace diesel in remote communities.
Grace, thank you for bringing us that report. Now, tidal energy is clearly making a name for itself around the world, but like anything, it has its strengths and weaknesses. So we thought, what better way to size it up than a dating profile? Coming up next, our tidal journalists made tidal energy a dating profile. And honestly, it might just be your perfect match.